Hello friends, welcome to Picture Astrology. In this series of planets through various signs, today we will try to learn about placement of Saturn in the dual sign of Gemini. And as always, our emphasis will be on the practical side of things, and we will try to understand how this placement affects your personality, which is both mental and emotional, as well as your work life. Because Saturn is the primary karaka of the kind of services you render in this world. So first of all, let's see the basic nature of both Saturn and the sign of Mercury. So Saturn, as we know, is the slowest graha or slowest planet which is considered in Vedic astrology. And it is cold, very cold planet, and generally is represented by dispassionate and justice, the sense of equality and rule of law, the respect you have for law. And as we discussed, Saturn is also known as the karma karaka, or basically it shows the kind of work you do in this world. And Gemini is a sign which is ruled by Mercury, and it's an airy sign. So if you see, air as the environment is quite suitable for a slow and cold planet. And at the same time, Saturn and Mercury are quite friendly in nature. They both share a good relationship. So basically, Saturn feels very comfortable in this environment of Gemini sign. However, as we discussed, that Saturn shows your work, and the sign of Gemini, this being a dual and airy sign, shows frequent travel and frequent to and fro travel. So generally, this placement of Saturn makes for a good background for work-related frequent to and fro travels. And otherwise too, depending upon the houses which Saturn rules over in your chart, this placement can show to and fro travel, even if it may not be related to work. But Saturn is also the karaka of all kind of responsibilities, things which you do not out of pure joy or out of fun or pleasure, but activities which you have to perform as responsibilities. So what it shows is that this placement of Saturn in this dual airy sign of Gemini can give a lot of travel to fulfill these responsibilities. And depending upon Saturn's position, say such a Saturn is afflicted by other malefics, then these journeys, these short journeys, could prove to be little difficult. There could be some difficulties during this time. Now, especially if, say, Saturn is on one side, or Saturn is here and on one side you have, say, Rahu, and on the other side you have another malefic, say Mars. Now, in this case, you have to be careful about things like thieves or getting cheated during the time of your journeys, and also during the workplace or in your workspace, because Saturn is also the ruler of your workspace. Now, another important characteristic of the sign of Gemini is that it has to do with all kind of communication. And Saturn, as we saw, is your work life or your workspace. Now, so depending upon your first house or ascendant strength, you could either be, sometimes, not always, okay, in some cases, be victim of all kind of gossips in your workspace, people talking all kind of things about you, or it can give, tendency for you to also get involved in gossiping and sometimes talking ill about people. Now that depends on the strength of the horoscope. There are these two possible aspects of this placement of Saturn, and it is especially more true when Saturn is with Rahu, because then this gets amplified. So one common thing, irrespective of the kind of horoscope you have, is that avoiding gossips, avoiding office grapevine, or at least ignoring them and focusing on your work. Because Saturn is not just karma karaka, but it gives great result when you do things with dispassion, without attaching undue emotions to anything, and try to be just in your behavior. So avoiding gossips, whether you are involved in it or somebody is talking about you, is the best thing. You should respond by the work you do, by the dispassionate just work you do, and not by indulging in this crossfire of chit chat or gossips. Now this dual sign of Gemini is also related with your hands and activities you do with your hands. And Saturn here can make you a very dexterous artist, someone who is very adept in using hands. It could also make you good writer, or more specifically good editor. But for that, the position of Mercury has to be strong. So if in the chart Mercury is very strong and aspect Saturn, then it gives great skills in different kind of arts, and more specifically arts which has something to do with your hands, like drawing or fine arts or sculpting even. Great sculptors, they have this placement of Saturn in the sign of Gemini, with obviously strong Mercury and at the same time strong Mars and Venus for the taste of art. Now suppose along with Mercury, say Venus is also quite strong and somehow associated with this Saturn, then it opens up a different variety of art forms. Then it could give some relation with the, say, things like singing or makeup artist, people who use their hands to beautify women, because Saturn is the karma karaka and Mercury is the dexterity with hands. So is the sign of Gemini, and Venus is woman. And this combination, Saturn here with Mercury, Venus, and especially Venus very strong, also makes a person very interested in sensual matters. See, Gemini is a sign where the mental process and desires start in the human life. Say like in Aries, which being the first sign shows the birth of the person. Taurus being the second shows the stage of infant and the nurturing and caring which the family provides. And Gemini is the time when you first start talking, saying some words, and the desires to do new thing prop up in your life. So if this Saturn is strongly placed in this sign along with Venus, which is also the primary karaka of desires, then it shows someone who could be quite sensual. And obviously all of it has to be done, or any such predictions have to be made only after considering the ascendant carefully. Now Saturn, among other things, is also an indicator of subordinates or people who work for you. And if the chart is strong, who exactly you are in the chart is determined by your ascendants and ascendant lord. So if the ascendant and ascendant lord is strong, suppose the 10th house and 10th lord is strong as well, then Saturn in this sign shows good subordinates, or people who own media houses or editors of newspaper, who have a lot of reporters or writers, etc., who work for them. Like you be the boss of people who do the work of Saturn in the sign of Gemini. See, so it, what it basically means is that you could be one of the person who is doing the work of Saturn in Gemini, but if the horoscope is otherwise strong, or the horoscope of a say person who could be a business owner, then you would have subordinates who does this kind of job. And likewise, many more different predictions can be made by combining various aspects of the horoscope with this placement of Saturn in Gemini. And we will look at in more details and in more specificity when we talk about Saturn in Gemini for each of the ascendant specifically later on. So friends, with this I'll stop. with my quick snapshot analysis of Saturn in the sign of Gemini. Please do share your experience and comments in the comment section. And as always, I thank you for watching this, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.